Okay, here's the Imhotep Radiant Oscillator Lite, and my version of it, the lunchbox or LB version of it, and it's pretty much finished at this point. I finished the cap pulsar today, which helps the charging part of the circuit, and it was a John Bedini design right here that helps charge these batteries with a pulsing circuit, and it's rather involved, and I had to spend some time to learn how to do it and then breadboard it, and then finally finished it today. And it goes in the charging part of the circuit, my lunchbox circuit here. I combined the two charging batteries finally together and ran them both together in this pulsing charge circuit. And in the box here, I don't know if you've ever looked in the back of an old television set and wondered how in the world it got that way. Well, this thing started out so simple, and look what happened to it. Looks like an old television set in there. But yeah, it got real complicated. We maybe start going backwards and make it simpler now that we got this far along. But this was the pulsar circuit, and it's on a printed circuit board now. And it is the part of the circuit that was missing that I wanted to finish before I went another direction, that helped charge the charge batteries. And I've gone to lithium batteries now on the primary batteries. They seem to work better, and they have an internal circuit that actually turns the unit off when they drop down to 15 volts. And the light's good. I think the light's fine now, and of course it makes no noise. And I've got it hooked up to a wall outlet right now, charging up the batteries while it's running, of course. And then during the day you can use the little solar panel if you don't have it running. If you have it running, it's not enough to keep up with it. You need twice that. You need about a 5-watt solar panel to really make this happen. This is just too small, but it does charge it up eventually if you leave it out in the sun long enough. But that's the system right there, and that's the blinking pulse charge going on right now. And I played around with amperage and voltage and stuff to see where it's supposed to be, but you can increase the pulse rate or decrease it. And the trimmer is over there on the side. There's one other thing that people are working with right now, and that's the Bedini Fan part, and I was involved with it too, to put the Bedini Fan as the lid box, as the lid motor charging circuit and driving circuit. And I fiddled around with it and decided just to go back to the circuit that was in the box initially and then go this direction with the fan. I've got it hooked up with a couple of wires here that go into the box, and one's the drive and one's the charge. And what you can do with this is you can use the existing ports on the box and run the Bedini Fan off the box. Now you can also take the charge part and stick it in the other side. And now you got energy coming out of the box going in the Bedini Fan, but then the Bedini Fan is actually putting energy back into the system. This is all happening while you're running the light. And of course it's doing the pulse charge. So it's a different way to do this, but I just thought I would give this a shot, and sure enough it did work. And you can turn the light off if you want the light off. And then the fan goes, and it's running through the circuit, and everything's working the way it's supposed to work. Or you can, of course, turn the fan back, or the light back on, and they both work. Or if you just unplug the fan, of course, fan stops, and now it's just running on the light. But this was just another way to do this, and it was just a way I figured out that I could maybe capture best of both worlds, was use the Bedini fan with this lunchbox that I built. But that's just a side note there, and I probably will finish working on that and perhaps put it in a box. I've got a box here that I may end up putting it in this plastic box and just for something to carry it with and make it neater, and then use it as an addendum to the lunch box that I've built here. But anyway, this thing's just done. I'm finished with it at this point, and it does what I want it to do, and that's all the more I want to do with this thing, is that thing right there, and it does what I want it to do. So that's the project. That's the Imhotep Radiant Oscillator Lite with a pulsing charge circuit.